Hey there, and welcome back to Microsoft Teams 101, a place where you can learn the ins and outs of Microsoft's classroom-based learning platform. I'm Mr. Toffs, your school librarian. In the previous video, we covered the interface to Microsoft Teams and how to create a team within the platform. Give it a watch if you haven't seen it, or you just simply need a refresher. Let's just jump into this second video that covers two very important parts of Microsoft Teams, the Conversations tab and the Files tab. So here we are back in Office 365's main page, and I'm going to just jump right into Microsoft Teams right there. Now, usually what happens when you log into Teams, it will take you to really the last screen that you're in. So for me, it was this Teams page, but sometimes it might be actually in a team, and that's okay. You can always click back on that button to get back to this main page right here. Now, you'll notice here that I have an AP Research team. This is a test team that I'm making just for these demos, but I made this team in the exact same way that I demoed in the previous video. So let me just jump right into it here. Now, when I come into this AP Research team, I'm immediately brought up to the general right here, and I have Conversations and Files right there up there in the tabs, and Conversations appears first right here. Now, this is how it's always going to open when you go into a team, and if I go into another team, it would bring me to there. Now, at the very top of the Conversations thread, it's going to say, Welcome to AP Research, choose where you want to start, and I can choose to start with upload class materials, or I can choose to set up a notebook. Now, I'm not going to worry about the notebook, we will get into that in another video, but I do want to start with actually the Files tab. Now, if I click this button here, it actually brings me to the Files tab. So if I click back on General right here to see this, and I go back to, and I actually click on Files up there, it brings me to the exact same place. So just know that. And if I click back here on Conversations, it'll take me back here. Just know that as you have more and more conversations in your team, you won't see these anymore. This will kind of just be all the way at the top. So let's upload some files to our team. Now, something that's really important, that's a new addition to Microsoft Teams that I am so glad Microsoft put in, is this class materials folder. And you can see that it has a folder right there with a lock on it. That means that everything that you put into this folder is, no one can edit it but you. So if you put stuff in here, students can't edit it, students can't change the documents. So really, whatever you put in here is going to be locked just to you, which is an awesome addition, and I'm so glad Microsoft listens to teachers to put this in here. So let's actually start right here. So if I click on there, you'll see that I am in class materials. It'll say it up there, and it says right here, read only class files go here, which is awesome. So that students can read these files, but only teachers can edit. And they'll even give you some ideas like syllabus, reference sheets, etc. Now, I have the option to just put new documents in here that I can create, or I can upload documents from my computer and from my OneDrive. So I'm going to do that because I have a syllabus that I want to put in here. So I'm going to click Upload. And you'll see immediately it's bringing up the file folder for my actual computer. This will look like this on a Windows computer. It'll look a little different on a Mac. But if you are in my school, this will pop up if you're using a work computer. And you can see over here I have my OneDrive and I have all of my folders in here. So I do have a AP Research file folder in there. And I just want to show you real quick. I'm just going to cancel out of here and jump into my OneDrive. The stuff that shows up here, like I have my AP Research files, they are the exact same files and the exact same folders that will show up kind of in my Finder right here. I have my AP Research files right here. They're linked, they're talking to each other, so this is just the way that you access it. So I'm going to click on AP Research Files, and I'm going to see all the stuff that I have in that folder. So first things first is I want to put up my AP Research syllabus. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to open it, and you're going to see that it's uploading a file, and there you go. Boom, the file is in there just now by me. So this is something, now I don't really like this name right here. It's not, I mean, it's clear, but I want to kind of clean it up. I don't have to, but I could rename this. I could just call it AP Research, and I'll get rid of this and just keep syllabus, and then I'll hit enter right there. Awesome. So now this right here is my AP Research syllabus. Now let me click on this just to see what it looks like. So this is a PDF file actually, and it shows up in Microsoft Teams. Like I'm not leaving anything. It's all coming up here. This is tough to read, so I can zoom in. Let me zoom in 150. Woo, that's pretty big. So just right here, I can see I can scroll through this and I can actually start, doing things in here. Now, I do have the ability to start a conversation on the side of this document right here. I don't have to, and a lot of the times I never do, but just so you're aware, you can actually do this. It's actually pretty cool. So if I have this here, and I wanted to just really focus on something important, and I want to put a comment on the side of this, I can start a conversation centered around this document, which is right here. And I could say even right here, like, I want you to read the course overview carefully. And let me actually do something that I love doing when I'm putting stuff in conversations, that is adding a GIF. There's a bunch of stuff. Let me do a good old Kermit the Frog. We'll put him in there. Awesome. And I'm going to hit this little send airplane here, and it's going to go. And that's going to show up now on the side of this document. I can click this to kind of get rid of it. And this is accessible for me, but it is also accessible to students as well. And they could see this here on the side as they're reading through. So I'm going to close out of here. And it's going to get me back to my Files tab with my class materials here. So I have here AP Research Syllabus. Now let's say I wanted to upload another document that students couldn't touch. So I'm going to click Upload right here. And I'm going to go back to my OneDrive, click on AP Research Files, and I have this summer reading assignment, which is really just a Google document. I'm sorry, not a Google document, a Microsoft Word document. And I'm going to click in there, and you're going to see that it's going to get uploaded, and it's right there. So I have my summer reading assignment right here, and this is another example of something that I don't want kids to change. I don't want them changing my task sheet. I just want them to be able to view this. So when I click on this, I go right into here, and this is it. So it's really nothing in here. It's just kind of a dummy document, but I have the ability to edit. Students will not be, and I could also do that same thing over here where I can start a conversation if I wanted to, but I don't really want to, so I'm going to close that. So I could actually build folders in here to keep yourself nice and organized. Like there's something really nice to having, like, I'm going to go back into here. Like as this fills up, it's going to get kind of cluttered. So something that you may want to do is just add a new folder. And let's call this Course Materials. And I'll just click Create. And you're going to see a folder come in here. Now, I'm still in the class materials, so everything that goes in this folder, students will not be able to change. And I want to actually move this into that folder. So I have this highlighted here. I'm going to click Move. And I want to just drop, I'm in Browse Teams and Channels. I'm going to drop this right into here and move it. And there we go. You see that it goes right in there. Over time, this will help keep yourself really, really nice and organized as you add more and more things in here. So I'm going to click back here on General right there, and it's bringing me back to this main page. Now, you could also put documents that are outside of the class materials folder, and those documents will be editable by students. I always think that's a weird thing to say because it sounds like people are eating the documents, but they're not. They're editing it. Anyway, so if I want to do that, it's really the exact same thing. So I can upload stuff into here in the same way that I did prior. However, if I wanted students to collaborate in a document or give me information, I could actually create a file right in here. So if I click New, and I want to collect information from students, so let's say I want to make like a spreadsheet of like contact information so I can easily email out. And I don't want to ask them all for their individual emails. I just want them all to type in the same document at the same time. So I can actually create a spreadsheet right here. Let's call this course contact info. And let's create. And here we go. I have an Excel sheet that is really just starting to populate right here, and I can actually edit this in here. And the really cool thing is I never have to leave Teams. You're going to always see your Teams interface kind of on the side and on the top. So let me edit this document here. Let's put first name, Let's make that a little bit bigger so we can actually see it. Last name, and there we go. And I will add a tab here for email addresses as well. Address, there we go. So that I can actually now have people fill this out. We'll go to here for my last name, and then email address as well. And I could always adjust this to make it bigger. Now, because this is in a, let me close out of that. Because this is in the, right here, course contact info, this means that I can actually kind of just have all the people in the team edit this information, and it's right there. And here we go. So I could always go back into here. You can see the stuff in there, and I will close out of it. Cool. So this is really adding things into the conversations, into the files folders, and using this. And really, as you build this up, and again, I could always add more folders. I can add more documents. I can always upload things, things of that nature. Something that I kind of want to move into now is how to use the conversations thread. And I'm going to click on conversations up here. And you can already see that I have stuff in here. So you can see that the conversations that I put on the AP research syllabus and my Kermit the Frog GIF right here, and even I have the summer reading assignment right here. You can see that this stuff is posting in the conversations thread. So when you put documents in your file folders and you comment on them like I did, you will see that stuff show up here on the side. If there's something up here that you don't want to see, like, you know what, I really don't want to see this, I can always hit the 3 dots and I can always delete this, and it'll tell me that I did that. But what's really cool about the conversations thread, it is the place where you can do a bunch of communication with students, from teacher to student, or even from students to students. So for example, if I just wanted to make a general announcement here, and I wanted to say, like, bring your textbooks on Monday, and I'm going to hit the paper airplane right there. This goes out to everyone on your team. Now, keep in mind that if I just do that, everyone on the team can see it when they log in. If I wanted to give everyone notification that I had sent this to their emails, and also to the activity feed up here, I will have to do something where I'm adding the whole team. Just kind of like you do on Twitter or on Instagram when you're trying to, like, notify someone, you do this exact same thing. So if I do @team, and this works on every team, it will bring up the team name. I could also actually write the team name. And there we go. It says AP Research. So now I can say, let's do please this time. Please bring your books on Monday. Awesome. And I can send this out. Now you can see the difference between the two. So I have here this little icon. Now this sends out a notification to every single person on the team saying that, hey, you sent out this thing and now everyone can see it. This one won't. They will be able to see it only when they log into it. So I'm just going to hit these 3 dots and I'm going to delete this. And there we go. Cool. Now I can also get a little bit more fancier with the things that I'm commenting. So if I hit this little format button down here, and I want to add an actual subject. So let's say I have assigned homework for the weekend and I want to say weekend homework. And I still want to add the team. I could say, I could say, please bring your, please read pages 15 to 45 this weekend. Let me know if you have any questions. Awesome. And I'm going to send this out. This again sends a notification to everyone on the team. So if you're using messenger-based apps, kind of like Remind, this might be a good replacement for it because it kind of puts everything together. And really typing in here kind of is reminiscent to like using like a Facebook thread, if you're familiar with that. There's another type of thing I can put in here. So I can put a announcement in here, and it'll give this nice big headline here. And I could say, let's say it's January and it's a snow day. I could write snow day. And I could even change this here. Let's choose, I can upload an image, but let's just, for the sake of time, choose an image. Let's choose this one. And I could say school is canceled. Here in New York, this is always awesome to find out when it happens. I could say at team, and I could say school is canceled. However, read pages 100 to 500. That would be a lot of pages to read. And I could send that off. And then it's this announcement here. You could do a lot of things with this. I mean, I've done in the past too, like an exit ticket for Monday, whatever the date is. I could say at team, I could say question, what is your answer, if I put a real question in there. And this would show up instantly, and actually students can reply to this right here. I could say my answer is blah. Really just to kind of go through this conversation fields, and they'll show up just like this. I could do a bunch of stuff in here. I can always edit these things. So let's say I wanted to be like, oh no, I accidentally forgot to do something. I can always edit this. And you could do a bunch of stuff in here. You can add emojis, GIFs. You can even attach files in here. So if I was like, oh, I wanted to actually put a file in here for my OneDrive, I absolutely can. Let me go back into here, and I'll just put this summer reading assignment up in there. And it will upload a copy, and it will actually put it in the files section as well. So if you're uploading stuff to here, it will link up to things in here as well. So this is really it. This is really the conversations thread. It is a great place to kind of have communication back and forth with students. I find that it's really the homepage of Microsoft Teams because the most recent things will show up here. You might be someone who's like, I want to communicate with students where it's just teacher to student, but you don't want the conversation thread getting filled up with other things. You can actually turn off students' abilities to post in the conversations thread, or you can leave it on. And then, of course, you always have your files. So this is really how you do the conversations and files, where you're uploading documents, you're creating documents, and you're communicating with students and giving them really important information. If you have any questions at all about how to do either of these two things, you can always tweet me at Mr. Toffs, or you can email me at mrtoffs@gmail.com. And again, if you're in my school, you can always email my work email. I hope this helped. Take care.